Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this is the fourth installment in the audition tips question and answer video, and I'm so sorry that I feel like there's so much to say and I haven't answered everybody's question. And I don't know, I guess you just have to keep watching my channel to really get it all, and hopefully I answer your questions and help encourage you and inspire you and give you a little boost of confidence for your audition. Okay, so one question that I really wanted to answer that I haven't had a chance to answer up until now is from Steph Sanchez. And she writes, were you expecting to get an offer when you were auditioning and prior to the audition? Can you tell us step by step what the process looked like for you? I feel like it may be slightly different than what it looks like now. And my final and most important question is, where was your heart and spirit? Like, did you believe in yourself and have confidence? What would your advice be to girls who don't think they're good enough for a Disney position? I feel like Steph Sanchez, you've hit it on the nail. You've hit it on the head. I don't know what, you've nailed this question. Okay. I feel like this is an excellent question, Steph. Really great. Were you expecting to get an offer when you were auditioning and prior to the audition? I was so naive before I went into this audition. I'm very, very blessed to have gotten offered the role the first time. I didn't have to audition multiple times to get the Princess Jasmine role. A lot of people ask me that. And so I realize now that I'm able to see that a lot of girls do not get it the first time they go audition. Some girls have to audition many times before they are actually cast. And I was so oblivious. I didn't realize girls had it that hard when I went in, because I just went in like, ah. Yeah. So if you've watched some of my videos, you know that I used to kind of battle my weight in high school. I got up to 175 pounds at one point, and I'm 5'5" and a half, so 175 on that height. In high school, where all the girls are really skinny, and you know, because I don't know, girls were more active than me, they just didn't eat as much as I did. You know, I always felt very self-conscious about my weight. I felt next to my peers, I felt fat. I was definitely not necessarily the healthiest weight that I could possibly be, and so I wasn't confident about my body. I didn't take care of my body. I feel like maybe had I been active, I don't know, you know how it is for us girls, we're not always super confident all the time about our physiques. I don't know if it's because I've gotten older. I feel like now a lot of that ideal body type image that I used to have in my head, it almost doesn't exist anymore. Not that it doesn't exist anymore, but I just didn't take very good care of myself, so I wasn't super confident in high school. And then when I met my husband, now husband, he was my boyfriend at the time, I talk about it in my weight loss video. I have a weight loss video on here, like how I lost weight from high school to right before I got cast as Princess Jasmine, like how I got down to that weight. And so if you want to hear that story, just go watch that video. I'll leave a link down in the description box below. But so I talk about how I lost weight. So I was coming into this audition still kind of like not, it's like all of a sudden I weighed 120 pounds after, for several years, having struggled so hard with my weight. And it took very little effort to maintain that 121 pound frame. I was like in my low 120s, like between 120 and 125 it was my weight range. And it was very easy for me to maintain that small physique at that time, just because I was in love, I was in college, my mind was busy with other things. I wasn't focused on my weight anymore. So it was a whole new way of being for me. I had never had that sort of freedom from battling weight before, and so I felt very pretty all of a sudden. I noticed a huge change in the way people looked at me. being 175 pounds and all of a sudden being in the low 120s, you know. So I just remember being in the theme parks with my husband before auditioning, and when my husband was telling me I needed to, he was my fiance at the time, and he was like, Jennifer, you could be Princess Jasmine, because we were looking at one of the Princess Jasmines, and he was like, you could totally do that. And I was like, really? Like, it had never occurred to me before. Like, I guess I still kind of thought that I was that 175-pound girl. And I looked down at my waist, and I looked at my body, and I had to remember again, I'm thin, like, there's no more reason for me to try to, like, wearing a swimsuit. Like, I didn't join the swim team because I didn't have a small little waistline like all the girls around me, and I should have joined the swim team. I shouldn't have let my weight stop me from joining the swim team. Again, that's a whole other story for my weight loss video. But the point was, all of a sudden, I could fit into those pants and look good doing it, and so, it's almost like winning the lottery or something like that. It's kind of how you feel when you've struggled with your weight for that long, and and so, and I looked at my features. I realized, finally my dark features fit in somewhere, because in the time frame that I grew up, like, I don't know, brown eyes were poop eyes, they were ugly eyes. When Jennifer Lopez suddenly came on the scene, she was one of the first dark beauties in my day, in the 90s. Salma Hayek and Jennifer Lopez told me, your type can be considered pretty. And because we're coming, because growing up, it was all about the Baywatch, the Pamela Andersons, the blonde, the blue eyes. The guy that I had a crush on in high school loved blonde hair and blue eyes. Barbie was the ideal. Oviedo was a small town where I grew up. Orlando has grown, but anyway, just in that time period, my mind was kind of warped. Or maybe it's just everybody goes through those insecurities. You always think what the other person has is prettier. The other girl is prettier than you. And now, we see a lot of the dark looks. I'm not a big fan of the Kardashians, but you see that look being in style now. Now the Selena Gomez's are big and all this, Vanessa Hudgens and whatnot. But in my day growing up, you didn't see girls like that. They're everywhere now. I remember thinking, finally, I can be the princess. And so that's where my mind was. I think I was at a place where I was finally starting to see myself as pretty. I was starting to, and I was in college too. So I feel like you really come into yourself in college, whereas in high school you're trying to find yourself and you're struggling with insecurities. You're really starting to see who you are in college. And so I just realized, you know what, I am pretty enough. I am pretty. I mean, granted, I had also had an underbite correction, so suddenly my jawline was correctly aligned, and my teeth, my bite was suddenly correct as well. So I was like, you know what, I'm not a freak anymore. I felt like, how you feel. Sometimes you can feel insecure in high school. If you're in high school and you don't struggle with any insecurities, and you're proud of your accomplishments and you feel great about how you look, that's wonderful and awesome. Not all girls feel that way, so good for you, so I'm really, and I want Ariana to be someone who feels confident, and more so than I was in high school. But anyway, so my husband just really encouraged me, and he made me feel so beautiful. And he was just like, you could be that Princess Jasmine character if you want to. And I was like, I could. I have lost weight. I can fit in those pants. My features correlate with that character, I thought. And then you wrote, like, were you expecting to get an offer when you were auditioning and prior to the audition? The only reason that I thought that I could really do this and I thought that I could get an offer, because I guess, yes, I thought that I could. I really thought I had a shot. And the only reason I thought that was because I noticed that the ethnic roles at Disney were played by white girls. And mind you, my daughter's half white, so I don't have anything against white people. I love my husband, I love his family. I love that my daughter is a mixed kid, you know. But I just remember thinking, wow, they have white girls with, you know, trying to be these, you know, Pocahontas characters, and these Princess Jasmine is supposed to be from Agrabah, Middle Eastern, and they just slapped a wig on that white girl and said, go be an ethnic girl. And I thought, they really need an ethnic girl to be playing that role. Like, that was my mindset. I mean, could you imagine if they had a white girl playing Tiana and they just painted her skin black? I mean, that would just be whack. I think, you know, so that would be totally whack. And so that's kind of how I felt when I would see these characters at Disney. And so I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go audition and I'm gonna be confident. So that would be why I felt like that. And then you write, can you tell us step by step what the process looked like for you? So back then, you know, I couldn't go on YouTube and, you know, watch a video like the one you're watching right now. So I was searching the internet. I don't know what search engines we used to have back in the day. Maybe, I don't know if Yahoo was even around. Maybe it was. But I looked up something about how to be a Disney princess, and somebody had a website telling you step by step, kind of like what I do on this YouTube channel. Somebody had that in website format. They did not disclose who they were. It was written anonymously. You can't do that with YouTube. I have to show my face. So she was telling us, this is what you gotta do, girls. This is how you get in. So I was like plastered to this website, you know, and I just remember her saying, smile the entire time, smile the entire time. And she warned me about that there was gonna be a dance routine. Thank God she warned me. You know, I don't think she went as into detail as, like, you guys are able to ask me questions and I can be kind of specific in my answers, but it was just a very general website. There weren't a whole lot of pages. There might have been like 2 or 3 pages with a few paragraphs here and there, but it was just very overview, basic, what to expect at the audition. And let me see here. You know, growing up in Orlando, I didn't get to go to Disney a lot growing up, but I did go to Downtown Disney because Downtown Disney was free, now known as Disney Springs. And across the street was the casting office. And, you know, you always saw commercials for getting jobs at Disney. Call the Disney job line, they would say. So I called the Disney job line one day after my husband had encouraged me, and I was like, I want to be a princess at Disney. How do I do it? And they were like, you got to get into the entertainment department. You've got to interview with us, and then you've also got to audition. So I went, I had an appointment for an interview. I dressed up all business-like. I had a resume of the jobs I had done. I had worked at McDonald's and Ben & Jerry's, and I think I had done retail. I had never really had like a steady job or anything. You know, I was just a college kid who had done some, you know, food service and retail, you know, and you know, and I did like a formal interview in business attire, and I went in, and it was some older lady, like a blonde lady, and she was like, okay, so, you know, what do you want to do at Disney? And I was like, I really want to be a character performer. I've taken acting classes, and I told her the classes I hadn't taken a lot, but I had taken one in high school with an acting school somewhere here in Orlando. It was actually commercial style acting, and I had taken an acting class in college, and I told her about that, and I was very strongly interested in the character department, and I think she was trying to steer me away from that. Well, the costumes get really hot. Are you sure you want to do that job? And I was like, yes, I really want to do that job, because she told me that you can't just do princess. You have to do fur characters in addition to princess. And I was like, okay, whatever. You know, and she was like trying to deter me. Those costumes get heavy. And I was like, yeah, you know, like I just wanted to be a princess. I didn't care how hard the work was to get there. I just knew I needed to get there. And so she's like, okay, well, you know, you did fine in this interview. You seem normal. go ahead and go to a character audition. Here are the days, here's the times, just wear something to do a dance routine in. And I had never had formal dance training, so I didn't know what dancers wore. I just wore, and I think I've said it in a previous video, like a little red tank top, some old, it was like nothing fancy at all, cheap, generic, maybe from Target or something. And then some little drawstring black pants that I had, because black is slimming. So I thought, I'll wear my black little around the house pants. And some generic tennis shoes that I had. I didn't have any brand name fancy tennis shoes. But I did do my makeup really nice. I did my eyeliner well, and I had improved on my makeup since high school. Looking back at pictures, I didn't know what I was doing in high school. But by the time I got to college, I was really good. And now I feel like I've kind of gone backwards in my makeup because I don't have time to do makeup anymore, so I feel so out of practice. But I used to be like really into it. And back then we didn't have Sephora. All you had was MAC. MAC was everything, MAC, and then you had like department store makeup. It's just, there's so many new makeup brands now. Like, you girls are so lucky. That's all I gotta say. MAC hooked me up, and I used to wear their Studio Fix liquid foundation with SPF 15, and it's still a popular foundation from what I remember. That's what I wore as Princess Jasmine the entire 5 years that I was there, was MAC Studio Fix. So go check out that foundation if you want to do characters. That might be a foundation that works for you. I don't know. But I did that. I pretty much every single piece of makeup on my face was MAC makeup, their professional makeup. Yeah, so I talked to the people at MAC. I told them what I was gonna go do, that I wanted to audition for a character, and they helped hook me up. I had, I didn't have a mortgage payment or any other responsibilities, so I could blow my whole paycheck on makeup if I wanted to. Shame on me. but that's where my money went. And so so I just made sure that I looked facial wise fantastic. And I did my hair. I had cool hair back then. Now I feel, post-pregnancy hair loss and all that, and it's thrown back. But back then I could take time to blow dry my hair and make it all awesome. So my hair was like down and pretty, and I was 21. Now I'm 33. So yeah, so I was just dolled up to the whole 9 yards, because that was who I was. I did not do that just because I wanted, yes, I did it for the audition, most hands down. Yeah, I did. But I also, that was me. That was who I was. I feel like if you're someone who's not into makeup, you definitely want to become comfortable with makeup, because you will be expected to wear makeup when you're doing characters. But definitely, do what's comfortable to you. Do what makes you feel beautiful. You don't have to go all out the way I did with foundation, concealer, eyeliner, mascara, everything here and there. I did that because I felt beautiful that way. Like, I've always been into makeup. My aunt got me into makeup. I blame her. But yeah, I felt really pretty. I felt, and I think I also did my best to look Arabic and Middle Eastern. I think I Google searched Arabic makeup, to look and see like how they did their makeup. I think I did look up pictures of Princess Jasmine online too, to see how they would do their makeup. So I guess I did kind of try to look, like Princess Jasmine. This is like years ago. We're going back 10 years, so I don't remember exactly how I got my inspiration. I just wanted to look pretty at my audition. So I did my best to look and feel pretty, essentially. So I would recommend that. Do your best to look and feel pretty at your audition.